Welcome, everyone, to the call. My name is Tellman Knudson. I'm the host here at the Hypnosis event, Season 1, and I'm incredibly proud and excited to bring someone who's become a very close friend, peer, and colleague in hypnosis over the last year or year and a half or so, none other than Mr. Steve G. Jones. It's really great to have you on the call, Steve. What we're doing is the Hypnosis event, where I'm bringing the 24 most powerful hypnotists on the planet together for this incredible free interview series that you're experiencing right now. Steve, it's great to have you on the call. Very, very exciting. I believe this is our first teleseminar together.
I believe so, and it's great to be here.
So, all right, Steve, let's talk a little bit about hypnosis. So, hypnotists are an interesting bunch, I think we can both admit. I mean, hypnotists are kind of unique individuals, right? What originally drew you into hypnosis? I mean, I know you're into all sorts of metaphysical stuff, you're into all sorts of stuff that has to do with the mind and the non-physical world and everything. Why and how were you originally drawn into hypnosis?
Well, I just got that question 2 days ago from a magazine, and the guy who asked me that liked it so much he had me come over to their office and tell it again. So here's that story. I was in military school. I was in Riverside Military Academy in Gainesville, Georgia, where they sent all the kids whose parents didn't know how to deal with them, and I got, you know, everybody gets threatened that gets sent to military school, but I actually got sent. And I got a book on hypnosis by a guy named Leslie LeCron, who's no longer around, but he wrote a little paperback book, about 150 pages, called The Complete Guide to Hypnosis. Well, I got that, and I started hypnotizing my roommates in military school, making them do silly things. You know, when I tell them that they hear the word pepper, they have to scratch their nose. This is the story they like for the magazine. And so at the mess hall that night, I had programmed this guy that every time you hear the word pepper, you have to scratch your nose. So we all said, pass the pepper, and he kept scratching his nose. And I thought, wait a minute, there's something good here. Something actually works. So soon the athletes came to me wanting to run, you know, more efficiently, and the smart kids came to me wanting to study better. So all these years later, it's still the same thing, except the athletes are the Dodgers and the smart kids are NASA.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Awesome. So you started hypnotizing people early on, and so, I mean, there are a lot of questions around hypnosis, right? People want to know whether or not they can be hypnotized, whether hypnosis will work for X, Y, and Z. And what we're really here tonight to talk about is how can you hypnotize people to become more wealthy, right? How can you, it was really interesting. We had an interesting comment on the blog the other day where someone said, I can understand how I could be hypnotized to quit smoking. I can understand how I could be hypnotized to lose weight. But how can I be hypnotized to have my bank account get bigger? How can I be hypnotized to make more money? I have a job. And the job pays me this amount. How could I ever be hypnotized to make more money? And I don't know whether you want to answer that overtly just yet or whether you'd rather answer it through the course of maybe doing a hypnosis session. But it's a very interesting question because as hypnotists, we know that question is almost ridiculous, but it's a very real question that most people who aren't trained hypnotists have, that they don't understand how you can be hypnotized to make more money. So I would love it if you could bring us through a process to literally hypnotize us to make more money, and then we can talk about it a little bit afterward as far as practical application.
Fair enough.
Cool, cool. So before we jump in and get started, guys, if you're driving, you need to hang up the phone. If you're driving and you're listening to the replay, you need to stop listening. This is not something you're allowed to do while you're doing anything that could put you in danger because you're probably going to get really, really relaxed and lose awareness of your physical environment. They say, if you're driving a car or operating heavy machinery, stop listening to this audio program right now. recorded or live, that's absolutely true. Okay? I want you to make sure you're safe. You should be either at home or in your office. Your bladder should be drained, and you should let everyone in your home or office know not to bother you for another 45 minutes or so. So you can take a few minutes to completely focus in on the session and the rest of the call and really focus on yourself and reprogramming yourself to be the person you want to be. So, again, if you're driving or doing anything that could be remotely dangerous, if you were to lose any degree of focus, I want you to hang up now and listen to the replay later. With that said, Steve, I'm passing the virtual baton over to you.
Okay. I'll be glad to do that. Now, how long would you like this session to be? About a half an hour?
15, 20 minutes is fine.
15,
if you want to go a little bit long, that's okay too. Anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll aim for about 20-ish. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do here, as Tellman said, is a hypnosis session for building, reprogramming you to attract wealth. And if it doesn't make any sense to you now, don't worry about it. We'll discuss it later. But the idea is that I'm going to reprogram your subconscious mind to accept opportunities which otherwise you wouldn't. So I would like you to make sure you're lying down either on a bed or even on the floor or on a couch. But the important thing is that if you were to fall asleep, you wouldn't fall off of anything. You would be stable. So go ahead and do that. And close your eyes if you'd like. You can leave them open, but it might be more interesting to close them now. And I'd like you to imagine yourself on the beach. And just imagine that it's a beautiful day on the beach. The sun overhead is so relaxing, so peaceful to just walk along the beach and relax, unwind, and let go. And as you walk along the beach, feel the warm sun relaxing you as the gentle breeze cools you. Together they create the perfect temperature. You can feel the warm, soft sand on the soles of your feet, and you can hear the waves rolling in and out as you walk very slowly down to the water's edge. You see the beautiful blue sky with occasional white, wispy clouds. So relaxing, so beautiful here on the beach. Off in the distance, you can hear and see a few birds. Everything is just right. And as you continue walking, I'd like you now to focus on relaxing your body from head to toe. Starting with the top of your head. The top of your head relaxes completely. And feel the relaxation moving down now, down around your eyes, down to your jaw. So much tension tends to gather in the jaw area. But now you feel your jaw muscles loose and limp, and your mouth may open slightly. As you continue walking, unwinding and relaxing, your neck relaxes. It almost feels like a mental massage. But you can actually feel the relaxation moving downward through your body. Moving down now, down to your shoulders. Moving down your arms, all the way down to your wrists, and out into each and every finger as you relax more and more deeply. Your chest relaxes, your abdominal area relaxes, all of the muscles and organs. Your abdominal area relax as you continue walking along the beach, enjoying this beautiful day. Your legs relax, down to your knees. Feel the relaxation moving down the calves of your legs, down to your heels. As you continue walking and feeling how good it feels to walk, the relaxation moves very slowly over the soles of your feet, down into each and every toe. down to the tips of your toes. As you continue walking, unwinding, and relaxing, I would like you to find a safe, dry, comfortable place where you can sit on the beach, because you're going to watch a beautiful sunset. And as I count backwards from 10 to 1, the sun is going to slowly set on the horizon. Because the lower I count, the lower the sun goes. And the lower the sun goes, the more you relax, deeper, deeper, and more deeply relaxed. Sitting down now, facing the horizon, watching the sun over the water as it is about to set. To my count, 10, the sun begins to set on the horizon. As you relax more and more deeply, 9, the sun goes down, down, lower and lower. As you relax more and more, 8, down goes the sun as you relax. Let go and unwind. 7, 6, down, down, deeper, deeper, and more deeply relaxed. 5, the sun sinks a little lower and you allow yourself to drift a little more deeply. 4, 3, down, down, relaxing more and more deeply. 2, and at the count of the next number, the sun will have set completely and you will be completely relaxed. All right now, 1. The sun is set completely, and you are completely at ease. And because you are so relaxed and at ease, your mind is now open to new possibilities, new ways of relating to your world. I'd like you now to imagine a financial goal that you have. Just pick one goal and pick it now. A financial goal that you have. I'd like you to put a time limit on it. Think of when you will have reached this goal. And this time comes to you easily, just as the goal did. So you now have your goal in mind, and you have a time in mind when you will reach this goal. Now, I want you to make sure this is a financial goal. It is a goal that will benefit you financially. So take a moment, make sure that your goal is a financial goal. And it's okay, whatever it is. However large your goal is, it's fine. I'd like you now to imagine that you're rising above your body. Imagine that a part of you is rising above your own body and moving forward. And as you do this, you feel yourself moving into the future. You are slowly moving into the future to the point at which you have achieved that goal. You very slowly move into the future. And now you find yourself hovering above that point in the future, and you lower yourself down to that point in the future when you have already achieved that goal. And I want you to notice how good it feels to have achieved that goal. Achieving that goal was good for you and all of the people whose lives you touch. Your success is a positive event, positive for you and everyone else in your life. You serve as an example of how powerful people can be. I want you to just take a moment and feel this sense of accomplishment. It's both a sense of relief and a sense of exhilaration. You have achieved something. You have reached your financial goal. You feel good about yourself. You feel strong. You feel confident. You feel motivated. And you feel calm inside. Inside you are relaxed. Because you understand that you are able to accomplish anything. And I want you now to turn around in your mind and look back at the simple, easy steps that were required for you to take to reach that goal. They look easy now as you look back at them. You can see them all in a row, going all the way back to your present self. You realize now that those steps pay off. You realize now that those steps have tremendous benefit for you. You realize now how easy it is for you to accomplish your goals. I'd like you now to move back into the present. From the future, move back into the present, bringing with you the knowledge of how you did it and how good it felt. And as you move into the present and settle down in the present, you look toward the future now, and you see the steps that were required for you to reach that goal in order. You see the first step, then the second step, third step, and so forth. You realize now, looking at your goal from the present, how easy it's going to be to achieve it. And before you go to sleep tonight, you will take one step that signifies to you that you are dedicated. You are dedicated to achieving that goal. You are dedicated to making it happen by the time that you thought of in your mind. And you will allow this to happen. Before you go to sleep tonight, you will take one step that moves you toward that goal. This will signify to you that you have changed, that you are now a person who believes in your financial abundance, that you are a person who gets things done, who takes steps forward. And all of the other steps will easily fall into place because you know how to accomplish this goal. So I want you now to imagine that you see in front of you a chalkboard. That's right, an old-fashioned chalkboard. And on that chalkboard, you see all of the labels that you have been given in the past. And these are the labels that have slowed you down. These are the negative labels that have slowed you down in the past. See them all on that chalkboard now. I'd like you to imagine that you have an eraser in your hand. I'd like you to erase those labels from the board. Just wipe them away. Those labels have no meaning for you. None. You wipe them away. You completely erase that chalkboard. The labels, the negative labels that slowed you down, you are erasing them now. And with that chalk, I'd like you to write some positive, powerful labels that describe you. I want you to write abundant. That's right, write it in all caps on that board, abundant. I want you to write wealthy. That's right, the word comes to you quickly and easily. You're able to write it on the board because you understand that describes you. I want you to write powerful. That's right, writing it on the board quickly and easily. I want you to write rich, R-I-C-H. That's a word that describes you based on your new way of thinking. And I want you to write other good, positive, powerful words on that board now that describe your financial abundance, your financial power, your financial skills, your financial creativity, your ability to draw upon financial resources and knowledge. Write those words on that board right now. These are the words that describe you. And as you continue writing, as I continue talking, realize that you have changed. You have changed in the sense that you have changed your point of view. You have decided to embrace a new relationship with your world, a relationship that allows you to get what you want financially, because you realize that it benefits you and others. You have a new relationship with your world that allows you to move forward and continue moving forward. Whatever happens, you continue moving forward. You have a new relationship with the world that allows you to believe that the universe is abundant and that you have every right to take part in this abundance and let it flow within you, within your life, within your bank account, within your investments. You realize that your financial success is a positive event for you and everyone in your life. From now on, you serve as a positive, powerful example of financial abundance, talking positively about yourself and your opportunities every day, building yourself up every day by reassuring yourself that you will meet your financial goals, letting go of negative self-talk and embracing this new you, this new relationship with your world that allows you to be wealthy. If you have any more positive words that you want to write on that board, write them now. As you look at that board, realize that those words describe you. Those words are you. Those words describe the way that you relate to your universe. And from now on, you will embrace a new relationship with the universe, one that allows you to achieve your goals. And in just a few moments, you will return to full awakening consciousness. And when you do, you will be wide awake, full of natural energy, remembering that before you go to sleep tonight, you will take one action that signifies to you that you have changed, one action that allows you to move toward your goals. All right, now coming up very slowly to the count of 3, so that by the time I reach that last number, you'll be wide awake and full of natural energy. All right, now 1, coming up, feeling very good, full of natural energy. 2, beginning to move now, beginning to stir, becoming very aware of your surroundings, very aware of where you are. And at the count of the next number, you will be wide awake and completely out of hypnosis. All right, now 3, eyes open, wide awake, and completely out of hypnosis.
Wow, Steve, that was fantastic.
I'm glad you liked it.
That was great. That was great. Awesome. Guys, welcome back to the room. Welcome back to Awareness. You are officially out of hypnosis now. Open your eyes, stretch out a little bit, continue feeling completely relaxed, but aware of the sound of my voice, aware of the sound of Steve's voice, blood circulating through your veins, energy circulating through your body. Welcome back, everyone. Steve has created an absolutely incredible gift for you. Just as a thank you for being on the call during the interview. Steve, I want to talk about this whole concept of giving away hypnotherapy scripts. Now, I know that you have several volumes of hypnotherapy scripts that you've created. The one you're giving away tonight is volume 11. So could you talk a little bit, in just a sentence or two, about the whole concept of the hypnotherapy scripts and why you chose volume 11 to give away as a thank you gift during the call?
Sure. Well, the script, as we're using that word here, is the center part, the middle part of the hypnosis session. If you think about a hypnosis session, it has an induction, which when we just did our hypnosis session was the walk along the beach, a deepening, which in our session just now was the sun setting, and then the script, which was a lot of information about you changing your relationship to money and your possibilities. And then, of course, the trance termination, which is where you end the trance at the very end of the session and you come back up, where I just counted from 1 to 3. And so the script is the part where you're being programmed. Now, this particular book that I've written, of the many script books I've written, which have the heart of the hypnosis session, the script that's actually changing you. The reason I chose this one is because it has the most financial information in it. So these are scripts, a lot of them, that are geared toward allowing you to be abundant financially.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So if you're a hypnotist, you can use these scripts in order to hypnotize your clients in order to be more abundant financially. And if you're not a hypnotist, but you're more into self-hypnosis, you could actually record yourself reading these scripts in order to supercharge your mind on a financial level.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Very, very, very cool. So, guys, you are going to get all the details that you need on exactly how to access this incredible ebook that has a ton of wealth, abundance, and prosperity scripts in it that you can use to help yourself and others. Very, very cool. So we've gone ahead and put together an amazing hypnosis program around wealth and abundance. So could you tell me a little bit about some of the incredible recordings that we've packaged together here for people today and how they're going to actually help to reprogram their mind to make more money?
Sure. We've got quite a few recordings of mine, and we got a unlimited wealth recording, abundance recording, and I believe that those two, in my opinion, those two are going to be the most powerful because they actually do the work for you. You know, we have the scripts book, so you can write your own scripts, or you can use my scripts and create your own session if you want, or more easily than that, you can just use the recording and just listen to it. And all you have to do is just pick one of them, listen to it each night for 21 nights, and allow it to reprogram you. So all the work is done. You can even fall asleep to it. The research shows that if you fall asleep, you're still receiving the messages. So you've got unlimited wealth, unlimited abundance, and a few other recordings that are designed to really get you focused on being a money magnet and tapping into your potential for unlimited wealth.
Very, very cool. So, Steve, I know you've been hypnotizing people for a long time. You've hypnotized folks for all sorts of stuff. I want to talk a little bit about money and a little bit about some of the common questions that people have about money. We're going to get into the listener questions here in just a little bit. But let's go back to the question that I brought up at the beginning of the call. I can understand how I can be hypnotized to lose weight. Why? Well, because basically weight loss comes down to two simple things. There are lots of ways to do it, but there are two simple things, right? Eat less, exercise more. For almost everyone. Some people have some hormonal problems, and some people have other more complicated issues around weight loss. But basically, for most people, most of the time, it's eat less, exercise more. Eat healthier food, don't eat crappier food. But it's hard to do that with just willpower, right? That's where hypnosis comes in. You learn new habits. Quit smoking. Well, that's as simple as not wanting, needing, or desiring cigarettes anymore, right? How about money in abundance? How can you actually hypnotize someone to have a fatter bank account? How does that work?
Well, I believe that there are opportunities that present themselves every day in everyone's life, and it's not a matter of any kind of hocus pocus or even living a different life. It's just a matter of being more aware. And so the hypnosis recordings for wealth allow you to, and hypnosis for wealth building in general, it allows you to open up to possibilities. And a lot of times the reason that some people are wealthy and some people are not is because some people believe in the idea that they are worthy of having wealth, that they're allowed to have wealth, that it's okay to have wealth, that it's not a bad thing to have wealth. And some people are under the impression that they shouldn't have it, and this impression comes oftentimes from childhood. And so it's just a matter of rewiring through words, through hypnotic wording, the understanding that you have, that anyone has, about their possibilities and what they should have. Now, you mentioned earlier the idea of someone having a job, and what they make is what they make. I remember my first job, I think I made $3.15 an hour, because that was minimum wage back in 1982 or whenever it was, and that was what I was going to get, and that wasn't going to change unless I changed jobs. I remember I got a raise, I think, to $3.25 at one point. But that if a person's locked into a job like that, then obviously that's set. But the recordings allow you to open your mind to the possibility that you don't have to stay in that job, that you can either advance in that job or get another job, or you can create your own business, or you can just start listening for opportunities for wealth that are around you. And sometimes what it boils down to is tapping into your passion. That's why they're recording for passion, because if someone, Brad Pitt started out in a chicken costume advertising, I don't know what he was advertising in Hollywood, but he was wearing a chicken costume, and I'm sure it wasn't paying much. He moved from that to being a well-paid actor. But he wouldn't have moved from the chicken costume to being a well-paid actor had he not believed in his possibilities. So they're all around us all the time. All we have to do is open our eyes to them, and that's what hypnosis for wealth building allows us to do.
Awesome. And when you become more aware of those things, you can act on them, right?
Right, exactly.
As hypnotists, we talk a lot about the reticular activating system, right? And the part of your brain that recognizes patterns. And when you're programmed to recognize patterns and opportunities to make more money, whether it's to make more money in your job or to get a raise, or to make more money in your business and expand your business and your sales, it's really a matter not whether or not the opportunity is there. It's really a question of whether or not you see them. So, exactly. Very, very cool. Well, so Steve, when we're talking about hypnosis for wealth, what about this idea of, hey, I don't know if I can be hypnotized. People have tried to hypnotize me in the past, and it hasn't worked. So I don't think I can be hypnotized. How can I possibly be hypnotized in order to make more money? How would you respond to that question?
Well, I think the general public needs to understand the definition of hypnosis. When they say somebody tried to hypnotize them in the past, that could mean a number of things. That could mean somebody attempted to do more of a stage hypnosis induction with them, or there was the expectation that they would do silly things. It could mean a number of things. There's actually a scale developed and as I was working on my doctorate in education, I became aware of this. There's a scale developed by Harvard and Stanford that actually measures what they call susceptibility. I don't like that word. I like the word suggestibility. It gives you a number, assigns everyone a number, how suggestible you are. So the interesting thing is we're all on that scale somewhere. Even if we're, at a low level, we're still suggestible. It's kind of like the idea of electrical conductivity. All substances on the planet are conductive. It's just a matter of how conductive they are. So you are, whoever you are, anyone, you're suggestible. You can be hypnotized. Now, not everyone is going to have the same results. Not everyone is highly suggestible, but we are all suggestible enough. Otherwise, we wouldn't obey the red light when it says, read. You know, we wouldn't pay taxes. We wouldn't obey other laws if we weren't suggestible to some degree. We are all suggestible. It's just part of our nature. It's a good thing that we are, because that allows us to learn things and to you know, obey certain rules in life and so forth. So we just take advantage of that natural propensity that we have to listen to what people say and to act on it, and we put that into play in a hypnotic session. So everyone's suggestible. Not everyone's going to be super suggestible, but that's okay. Everyone is suggestible enough to get the change that they want.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. And, you know, what do you think about people resisting suggestion? I mean, can anyone resist going into hypnosis?
I think you can. I mean, if you want to change, then you shouldn't, in my opinion, resist. But you can resist the commands, the suggestions of a hypnotist. You know, children can be disobedient. Hypnotic patients can resist hypnotic suggestions. So I'm talking about consciously objecting, saying, no, I'm not going in hypnosis. I'm consciously deciding not to do that. Now, the other level of resistance is a subconscious level of resistance, which also comes into play, where, you know, somebody wants to change, but they have some resistance at a subconscious level. Perhaps, you know, I'm telling someone that they should be a millionaire. They're telling themselves that, no, they shouldn't. Well, in my recordings, I've taken care of that, because I have a part in my recordings that sort of scrambles the recollection of the suggestions given, so you're not analyzing them. That's for your own good. So hypnotherapists have a way of dealing with that, which is called the amnesia portion of the recording or of the session, which is designed to allow you not to work against yourself, not to analyze and reanalyze what's been said and pick it apart, but just to accept it. Your subconscious mind really has no resistance. As long as it's being delivered to your subconscious mind just accepts everything, which is great news when you use hypnosis, because everything on a hypnosis recording and in a hypnosis session is designed to get you the change that you want.
Exactly. Well, very, very, very cool. I know that I was one of the most difficult people to hypnotize that my trainer had ever met, and so I personally went through this as I was getting trained and figuring out how to use hypnosis both personally and with other people. So all of this has been extremely relevant and true for me in my career. Steve, before we wrap up, I'd really like to go over some listener questions, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. This one is kind of a it's kind of a testimonial, actually. It's the first one that came in. It's either the first one or the most recent one. Anyway, it comes in from Scott in Michigan. And he says, I own You Can Attract It. And in 18 chapters, it's great. I've purchased Steve's NLP practitioner and master certifications, about ready to take my test. I've purchased over 30 audio hypnosis MP3s, as well as read 3 of his hypnosis books. All of them are great. I'm going to remove my mental blocks to success and launch my life, adding the necessary fuel, positive words, thoughts, and remove the launch pad arms that hinder my launch. I'm going to add fire to fuel to propel my rocket ship and blast off. Steve, any additional tricks or advice to speed my launch? This is from Scott, student of Steve G. Jones.
Well, Scott, keep that positive attitude. That's the only additional tip I would add. Sounds like you've got all the stuff you need, and thanks for the shout out about my work. I appreciate that. But yeah, maintain that attitude, and you can do anything. Awesome.
Lisa from Florida, she wants to know, and this is an interesting one, I've heard this many times, how often should we use specific hypnosis techniques to gain effective results?
So by specific hypnosis techniques, I would think that she means perhaps recordings?
Yeah, I think what she's saying is, if I want to quit smoking, or if I want to lose weight, or if I want to have financial prosperity, right? How how frequently should I listen to the hypnosis programs?
Okay, that's a great question. And some people really overdo it. They'll loop the session all night long, and I don't find that to be necessary at all. I would just listen to a hypnosis session once a night for 21 nights. Now you've got quite a few. If you get the package, for example, there are quite a few titles there. What I would do with that, just so you don't have to, because if you think 21 nights times all those CDs, that's a lot of nights. What I would do is take them in groups of 3, just bunch them in groups of 3, logical categories that make sense to you. For example, for me, it'd be wealth, confidence, and motivation. Those are 3 logical categories. Those things go together for me. So I would listen to one on night 1, next one on night 2, next one on night 3, and on night 4 I would just start back with 1. So for 21 nights, in cycles of 3 days, one recording per night, I would listen to each of the recordings. That way you both streamline it and at the same time it makes sense to your subconscious mind because they're in categories.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Lisa, so there you have it. That's exactly how frequently you should be listening. Here's an interesting one. This is Dave, and I think he's responding to one of the programs in your series. He says, "What's your success ratio?" And this is a very complex question, right? But what's your success ratio working with aspiring day traders? Very hard to measure success ratio, right, unless you know exactly what someone's parameters are. But what has been, your experience, I guess, in working with hypnosis with day traders?
Well, I've got we don't do studies on that one in particular. We do studies on the weight loss and smoking recordings, but not on the day trading. One of the reasons is that even more so than weight loss, it's difficult to quantify, which is what you were talking about. Stopping smoking is easy to quantify. It's either yes or no. Weight loss, you can quantify that by saying, well, did you reach your goal, and at what percentage were you within your goal? Day trading is, day traders are, they've got a lot going on, and there are a lot of different little goals throughout the day, so it is difficult for us to quantify it. But I have got somebody started promoting my day trading recording on some day trading website, and whenever that kind of stuff happens, everyone finds me on Facebook and starts emailing me and asking me questions. So I've gotten a lot of day trader questions on Facebook, and I can tell from what they're asking and what they're saying that they're having a lot of success with the recording. And so though I don't have a ratio of success versus not success, I will say that in almost every case where someone has contacted me on Facebook personally, which is where I get a lot of my information from, they've said, "Hey, Steve, this is outstanding." Then they start asking me, specific questions about using the recording.
Very cool. All right. So there you go on day trading. Cool. And I've got another one from Donna. She's in Wisconsin, and this is one that I've heard many times in the past, and so I think it's pretty relevant. She says, "Does any of the hypnosis training negate or go against anyone's spiritual or religious beliefs? I really want to hear your opinion."
Well, and that's a very poignant question for me as a former preacher for the Church of Christ, which I was for 5 years. From 1990 to 1995, I was a preacher for the Church of Christ.
That was while I was in high school, Steve.
Yeah, I probably preached to your class. I tried to help you guys.
Right.
Yep. So back when Tellman was in high school, I was a preacher, but I was still a hypnotherapist. I was doing both, but a lot of the things in hypnotherapy get into the esoteric world. When we get outside of wealth, we get into past life regression and astral projection and developing psychic powers and seeing auras. And we get into a lot of territory which is considered by the church, I shouldn't say the church, but by most churches, it's considered to be outside of the parameters of the church. It's considered to be almost sacrilegious, or at the very least in bad taste. So not having any views like that specifically myself, but at the same time not wanting to step on any feet, I put that all aside for those 5 years. I focused my hypnotherapy on more practical matters, such as helping people build wealth, helping them be confident, helping them become motivated, and so forth. The mere fact that I was practicing hypnotherapy at all, raised a few eyebrows from time to time, but it really depends on your specific relationship to your religion or the branch of your religion and how it meshes. I personally made some adjustments, as I said, not because I felt that they necessarily had to be done, but I felt that in good taste they should be done, and not to cause any challenges, and not to cause, as a preacher back then, my job was to save souls, and I was doing my best not to cause anyone to leave and get discouraged. So I made adjustments accordingly. But that's a personal call that you have to make.
Cool. It is a personal call. I mean, there are some religions, some Christians, some not, that are definitely against hypnosis. But as a general rule, I've found that most religions inherently aren't, simply because it's such a great tool for making your life better. Right?
Yep.
Some people that are extreme in their religious beliefs don't think hypnosis is the right thing. So yeah, just do a check-in with your personal gut, and with if you're not quite sure, then talk to whoever your religious leader is, and make your own decision from there. Mm-hmm. So very good. Steve, here's one. This is actually a really great one from Anant in San Jose. Anant says, "Hi, Steve. I've purchased some of your excellent products, the daytime and nighttime programs, but somehow I do not feel like listening to them. It's as if I am putting it off, though. I know they will be beneficial to me. It's not exactly procrastination, since I can do other tasks without waiting too much. Maybe it's some kind of self-sabotage. I logically know it's good for me, but emotionally I'm not 100% dedicated. I'm not 100% dedicated. What solution do you propose? Thanks in advance."
We may have to tie them down and make them listen to the first one, and then we'll be good to go from there, the procrastination one. Really it comes down to something like that, not someone tying you down and making you listen to it, but you just finally saying, you know what, I'm fed up with this. I'm not going to put this off anymore. I'm going to listen to one recording, and that one recording for you should be the procrastination recording. You should listen to that one. Ending procrastination is the idea there. So once you get that in your head for a few nights, and all you have to do is just tune out. You can think about whatever you want. All you have to do is have the recording in and press play on your iPod or whatever you're listening to it on. The recording will do the work for you, and you just check out. You can even go to sleep. It's fine, and make that the last thing you do. But last thing you do for your day as you go to sleep. But I would just mentally tie yourself down. Commit to this. Make it happen. Do it for 3 nights in a row. After that, I promise you it's going to be easier. Plus, you're already going to have a little bit of the programming that's going to make you want to take the next steps.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys. We've gone through a lot of questions. We're going to do one more right now. So I'm gonna hit you with a really intense one, Steve. And before I even ask this question, I do want to say that no matter what Steve is about to say, there's no such thing as a typical result with this type of issue. It's an extremely personal thing. The issue that someone's asking about is heroin, and I'll officially ask the question here in just a moment. But the question is kind of like, I want to learn French. What are the chances that you can use hypnosis to help me learn French? And the reality is that they're extremely high if you really want to learn French, and that you can learn French way faster with hypnosis than you can just learning it through traditional rote memorization. But this question's about heroin. So, Marge says, "My nephew is addicted to heroin. what are the chances he could be hypnotized to quit the addiction?
Okay, great preface that you offered, and great question. You know, I do have, when I had my office in Beverly Hills in the Roxbury Medical Building, every now and then I would get a case like this. A physician would refer someone to me who was addicted to meth or crack or what have you, and it was always a matter of working with them in a way that allowed them to feel that they could open up to me, they could be honest, because people who are on drugs lie to everyone, including themselves. They lie about their possibilities, they lie about what they're doing. It just becomes the nature of the beast. So if you can, you know, have that rapport with someone where they can trust you and you can talk to them honestly and you can get them to commit to doing this, and, you know, you're offering unconditional love, you know, even if it doesn't work, you still love them, and the results go up. But you have to keep in mind that with something of a chemical nature, this person has a chemical addiction going on. So this needs to be worked with in conjunction with a medical doctor, you know, people who are trained to work with chemicals, the chemicals of the body. So once you have them on board and you're working together, you know, you're handling more of what we might loosely classify as the psychological side of it, even though we're not calling a hypnotherapist a psychologist, and you have the medical doctor handling the physical part of it, then the chances of success for that person to get off drugs goes up immensely when you add hypnotherapy as an additional part of the regular therapy that's happening through the medical professionals.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys, we just went through a lot of listener questions. Steve, great answers to the questions here tonight. So thank you for such an incredible series of answers to those live questions from folks. Guys, this has been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for listening to this interview and hypnosis session with Steve G. Jones. Steve, thank you for sharing all your insights. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with before we wrap up?
Well, I always like to end with a positive note along these lines, and this is a quote from the musical group America, which is that Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. And my takeaway from that song, it's about the Wizard of Oz and the wizard giving something to him that he already had and just didn't know that he had. My takeaway from that is that, you know, we can use hypnosis and we can use NLP and life coaching and all that, but, you know, ultimately we don't need any of it. We don't need any of it because we have what we already need within ourselves. But sometimes we need a little reminder, a little kick that tells us, hey, you're great, you're amazing, you're powerful, you're awesome. That's where things like this come in. That's where hypnosis comes in. So if you need a reminder of the greatness that you already have within, then I want you to take advantage of the opportunity that you have here to really change your life and start living the life that you deserve to live. Cool. Steve, this has been really, really, really amazing. Thank you so much for doing such great work and having such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful call. And it's a great interview. It's a wonderful hypnosis session. Really, really, really cool. Everybody, take advantage of Steve's offer. Steve is a really great guy. He's an amazing hypnotist. He's helped millions of people with the power of hypnosis, and he can help you too. I highly recommend that you pick up his program. You are going to absolutely love it. And be sure to pay close attention to the video that you see on the next page that I made for you. This is Tellman with the Hypnosis Event. Steve, you are absolutely awesome. Great having you here on the call. I look forward to the next time that we speak. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll talk with you on the next Hypnosis Event interview. Thanks, everybody, for attending, and enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks, Steve.